Good morning. I'm Alisa Zee. You're listening to the Sunday edition. Thank you so much for spending your morning here with us. Megan LaCrosse is just such a lovely young woman, and I can tell that you must make everybody comfortable when you walk in the room, Megan, don't you?
Oh, thank you.
I'll bet you do. Well, Megan's with Hospice of Michigan, which is not a comfortable subject to talk about sometimes for people. How long have you been with Hospice of Michigan, Megan?
I've been with Hospice of Michigan for over 10 years.
Have you really?
Yes.
Okay, am I allowed to ask, how old are you?
I am in my 30s.
Oh, it starts with a 3, right? I'm 61, and the older I get, the younger you look. There's just no way for me to tell. How did you get started with Hospice of Michigan? Was this a kind of organization you had hoped you would work at? Have you been interested in hospice work for years, or how did it all happen?
In hospice, we kind of joke that hospice finds you. And my mom was an RN case manager for Hospice of Michigan up north. And I was going to school for marketing and business. And she said, why don't you just think about doing hospice? And I thought, well, I'm not a nurse. She goes, you don't have to be a nurse to be in hospice care. So while going to college, I would go and volunteer at the nursing home with my cats. And because of HIPAA, she couldn't say, go see this patient.
Of course.
They're on hospice. And there were a few of them when I walked in, they said, oh, you must be Sherry's daughter. She's my hospice nurse. I went, oh, you're on hospice? Because my misconception of hospice was it was the last few days.
Right.
And I got to know these residents at the nursing home, and it really opened my eyes to, if I thought this, and my mom is a nurse, who else does? So
most of us.
Exactly. So that was my mission, is to go work in hospice care. And she still works at Hospice of Michigan as well. And that's been my mission, is really to help the community understand what it is.
I only learned recently that hospice isn't just the last few days. Like you said, my father fell on September 1st, and he was in the hospital for a while, then in a care facility. And a friend of mine who is a nurse said, when he comes home, if there isn't enough care that he really needs, if there isn't enough provided, contact hospice and see if there's something they can do. And I said, well, no, he's injured. Thank God he's not dying. Mm-hmm. She said, no, contact them and find out what services are offered through hospice. So what services are offered through hospice or through Hospice of Michigan?
Yeah. So with hospice, a patient can keep their attending physician, so whoever they've been seeing, because they get attached to them, or they can use our hospice medical director.
Okay.
And if they want to stay with their doctor, our physicians still back up and is still available if it's 2 a.m. and they need, to get an order.
Right.
But every patient has an RN case manager, and really they're there to make sure that their physical pain is managed, any medication. They help coach the family as to what to expect next, any equipment that they need, any supplies they handle, ordering all of that. And there's also RNs that are on call. So it might not be their RN case manager, but if something happens at 3 a.m, the family or the caregiver can call our contact center and talk to a nurse, an RN, 24/7. And then they have a hospice aide to do the personal bathing. I like to say, let us do the hard work. Let the family be family, enjoy that time. So we have hospice aides that go out and see the patients, social worker, spiritual care. We also have volunteers that, go out and see our patients, and then grief support as well for after the patient passes.
Of course. But it's not always for someone who's been given that life sentence of 2 to 3 months, right?
You're right.
So who might qualify for hospice care?
Yeah, so anyone that their doctor feels they have a terminal diagnosis of less than 6 months, if the disease runs its natural course.
Right.
And we have seen them on longer, as long as they're declining and meet eligibility. Right. But whenever we say hospice, people think cancer.
Yes.
They don't realize end-stage heart failure, renal failure,
right.
Alzheimer's, dementia, different diagnoses, and then they have a lot going on too. So
right. It has got to be such a comfort to a family. It's never easy to watch a loved one decline. It's horrible and to feel so helpless. But with the services that are offered through Hospice of Michigan and other quality hospice organizations and the men and women who facilitate that care, people can check a couple of things off the list. Mm-hmm. Because I think sometimes we do forget to take care of ourselves. we think we're more capable of taking care of our loved ones than perhaps we are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we need a reminder that just because we may be capable doesn't mean we should be doing those things, right?
You're absolutely correct. And, the biggest thing is we don't want the caregiver to get burnt out.
Yes.
And with hospice, a lot of people don't even know this, but for a home care patient, so someone in their home, and maybe they're living with their daughter or their daughter has moved in to take care of mom or dad, there's respite care that they're entitled to. And that's 5 days every 30 days that they can go into a skilled nursing facility just so that they can get a break.
Okay.
My grandpa, when he was on the program, my stepmom was the caregiver, and she's like, I just need a break.
Of course.
And so he would go in for his respite, and she would just be able to relax and get re-energized to take care of him again.
Who pays for hospice?
It's a great question and very misunderstood in the community. So it is a Medicare benefit.
It is. Okay.
It is. Also Medicaid. And most private insurances also have a hospice benefit to it.
Really? So check with your insurance. It's a scary phone call to make, Megan. Very scary to make because first a family is dealing with the fact that they found out their loved one is expected to only be around 6 more months. And we know many, 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 many miracles happen. But you've just been handed that prognosis and you're reeling. So pick up the phone or go online. And I'm guessing there's a way to reach out online to Hospice of Michigan.
There is. So if someone is interested in just learning more about what we can do, the services we provide,
right.
They can go online or they can call our contact center. So that number is 888-247-5701. And, they can just give their information, share their story of what's going on with their loved one, and we can help them out. And, too, if they have questions about their insurance, we can look into that for them as well.
It's huge.
It is.
That's huge. What's the website or how do we go and find out more?
Just HOM.org.
HOM, Hospice of Michigan, HOM.org. Now, let's talk, if we may. I love this program. Give a quarterback. Yes, it's football season. Yes, we are. It's a play on words, but we want to make sure that everybody who needs it, every family, every person in every family gets the quality hospice care they deserve. And that's why there is this Give a Quarterback program through Hospice of Michigan that runs through the football season. So we have until the beginning of February. I haven't checked the official date of Super Bowl, but I'm guessing you'll tell me, Megan. Tell me about this program.
Yeah, so this is our public portion of our campaign. And going back to the insurance piece with hospice care, not everyone has Medicare or Medicaid or has a hospice benefit on their private insurance, but they need our care. So we take anyone regardless of their ability to pay.
Okay.
And being not-for-profit, that's our mission. So in order to do some other things too that we'll talk about, we have to raise these funds so that everyone that needs and seeks our care can have it.
So how do we give our quarters back?
So you can get involved by just simple, giveaquarterback.com, and you can make your gift of $25 increments is what we're encouraging everyone. And really, if 200,000 people in Michigan gave $25 each, we would meet our $5 million goal.
What a beautiful way to honor somebody through the holidays, to make a donation in their honor, in their memory, $25 to Hospice of Michigan for that quarter. Then you're honoring somebody who perhaps was helped by Hospice of Michigan or by another hospice organization, and this helps to make sure that other people's loved ones can be so cared for, right?
Mm-hmm. You're exactly right.
It's a beautiful program. I love the name of it, too, and I'm looking at the pictures of all of these handsome yes. devils who've participated. And I see, of course, the Harbaugh face.
Oh, yes.
Who I went to U of M with. So I'm a U of M grad and a big football supporter, regardless of how things rolled out. It's all right. We're still building and growing, and it will all be good. Yes. That's what is in my letter to Santa. Please see to that. What are the other programs or other things we want to know and need to know about Hospice of Michigan?
Yes, so the campaign also goes to fund our open access program. So I talked about the insurance piece, But also, we don't turn anyone away regardless of their age. So that means infant to adult.
Yes.
And when they hear hospice, people normally generalize it as a senior, an adult in their 80s, 90s, or older. But, children still need our care too. And they're not little adults. So we have a specialized team that is there just for our pediatric patients. So we cover everyone from infants to adults. We talked about the insurance piece and then just their diagnosis as well. So a lot of people think of just cancer, but some other hospices won't take the expensive patients. So we take anyone regardless of their diagnosis, simple or complex.
Okay. Very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
For a family to be going through a time where they're watching a young one go, I mean, it's never easy to say goodbye to any age loved one. But when we're looking at our little ones, there is, and I speak from experience, unfortunately, there is nothing worse. And to have a hospice organization come in and wonderful, kind, compassionate people come and be there for you, with you, and to guide. Because we don't know what to do, Megan. We just don't know. And I have to say, God bless the people at hospice, because I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, even for you to go into the nursing home with your cat.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, you had to leave there, I'm sure, feeling wonderful because you helped somebody, but it had to tear at your heart as well, didn't it?
And you get attached.
Of course.
No matter what you do. And that's what we're here to help guide the families and support them, no matter if it's a pediatric patient or, a child taking care of their loved one that's 90.
Right.
100,
like you said, that's what we usually think about as we say goodbye to elderly loved ones. However, we're also looking with so many people, our age structure has shifted now so that we're on the cusp of having more people over 65 than under 17. Right. So we're losing generations at a higher rate than maybe we were used to.
Right.
We need you. We need you. That's what's so important. We have 2.5 minutes left. What do you want to make sure we don't leave uncovered?
I want to make sure that everyone visits our Give a Quarterback website. We have filmed many sports celebrities for this campaign. Like you mentioned, Jim Harbaugh, Lloyd Carr, Lomas Brown, Kirk Cousins, Adam Schefter, Mitch Albom, to name a few, TJ Lang. And, they've all...
I even know who most of them are.
And, I've had a great opportunity to be a part of these filmings, and they've all had a story.
Right.
We all do. So make your gift in memory or honor of a loved one and really help us, kick off this year one by making a gift before Super Bowl.
That would be, that as Mitch Albom's organization is Super All Year, SAY. So say yes to giving a quarterback. Let's give the website another time, please.
It is giveaquarterback.com.
I love that. Giveaquarterback.com. And again, this is a fundraising campaign through Hospice of Michigan. This helps to make sure that everybody gets the best care at, as this says, at every stage of their life. You have the open access program, end-of-life care for patients regardless of age, diagnosis, or ability to pay. That is huge, huge, huge. I've never worked with a hospice organization, but I know a lot of people who have said saying goodbye to their loved one certainly wasn't easy, but would have been exponentially more difficult if they didn't have someone from an organization like Hospice of Michigan come in to guide. This is a difficult time of year through the holidays if you're saying goodbye to somebody. Also, if you have the anniversary of having lost somebody, it's very difficult. But imagine if you had someone to guide you, had these angels, these men and women who work in the hospice industry across the state to come help so that it doesn't have to be as difficult. Nothing will take the pain away, but knowing you're not alone through the journey makes a world of difference. Megan LaCrosse, I am so grateful for the work that you do for Hospice of Michigan. Give a quarterback. It's very easy to go online, make a call, give a quarterback through the rest of football season, and let's give some other families the love and peace that they deserve as they say goodbye to their loved ones. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for spending your morning here as well. Once again, I'm Alisa Zee. You're listening to the Sunday Edition.